going to be difficult to be admitted in such schools, the mission schools, if I should put it that way. But a whole lot of issues are concerning Wesley girls. It is believed that Muslim students at the Wesley Girls College have to hide and pray, because they are not Christians, they are Muslims. So we'll talk about this and other major headline stories that have come up on the show or this week. We need the principal, but you'll be an pay. Sabri yade jumadi atunu di head back bro. Na watching some akwa ba na ye bebo boso na ya pensim mu na ne ho no yade april. But sene what's you know nsem bebre na watching mu na akoso. We will get into all these stories, but major headline stories, you know. Ebi akwa ye panda elections a high court. Ese ye momodiani enye rerun a chese. Abano 2024 elections no yentu no biem. We will get into the details near Hesing City. The minority is fan easy crowd. I just said the minority leader then Sembia Babituja press conference over press conferences. I know I to say whether it's a travesty of justice or not, no, we will look into it. But Yabehe not yedin home komo and a na ya share whether the minority no a war. I mean a cause for or justification on some opening early to and whether it is a contempt of court as the NDC or the majority are calling. And I believe the privilege committee have to meet in the area where there's a contempt of court, which of course you hear more and some P and a bit me a PMO abba. You bid him come up and a wee. Nafe, ya share Wesley girls, so in summer a pea by a war. And she share about Bituja. And I said, it's believed, is a Nipano, a Koswa, chese, let's say a Cremonina or why, so Kuskuna say, say mission school, Catholic school, Methodist, wherever, and rare hono is what you have to follow. But I don't know about. I went to a mission school. I went to a Pukora, which is a Roman Catholic school actually. Now I wasn't a Roman student, and I said, I mean, call Roman, by virtue of my academic strength, and then my call Eco PM. But when I went, now me call. In fact, I watched it, I did everything as a Romani. Me call mass, and even at that time, they had the Protestants and also war. And he said, at a point, your time be a Makama proof for Isha. I just say, when you're Romania, you can also join the Protestants. Now, what me, assume, that necessarily say, we'll be joining Chinchana Bra Roman. But there were the options. And I remember most of my mates, I remember Miss Baru and all that. They were given the opportunity on Fridays to go and worship. Some super free and they do it, even in a dormitory. Now, Miss Baru, I mean, we have a whole Sule in the morning, we know Kokujao, Ekosum or Munyame, and they were almost so at home there. It was allowed. So, what have changed now? Whether and people still believe that mission school should be allowed to keep their religious identity, which of course no one is disagreeing. But yeah, look here now in Wesley Girls, now and somewhere Bible and said the Muslims there, students, and so could echo hide the coach baby could be and son or what me free. Does it hurts maybe a year do where my immunity? And your constitution, yeah, you believe is we are the beacon of democracy in Africa. That's how it's supposed to be. Even though I still believe, or you probably might think that mission schools should be able to keep their, or to be allowed to keep their identity, or religious identity. in this age of our time. I have a question, so many questions about this. I become one some. Into continuity hot digital online.com. But in some way, these and other more stories are and also but me call Kumasi, mene Okajabo crime better train come up. Now, no, see, I heard sending a wholesome major headline stories air cost war minum. Nafi, train home come up, meaning send some Dawson. But I just don't want to. You ever heard near the home come up? But Peter. Enchibu Siako is the former deputy director of TVET, a member of the NPP. Okay, no, getting ready in Como, getting ready for a very long time in opposition, and one assembly. You answer some. You answer some. You see, baby, Anafi, Refi, Omwaka. But luckily enough, today he's in the UK. You haven't never tried to come over, didn't come afar. The MPP, I saw one Sam Kakra. I know Onodie was a stand member of the Baumia campaign. Even 2024 elections before so Elusi Yenano. Now a MPP. Baumia. So, coming end of January, Nafi. MPP Kwako Yom flag bearer the Obidio Manim for the 2028 elections. A Kanajapon faction, Dr. Baomia's faction, and Wamwaka. We will talk about that. Atim Didier, NSN and MSC Co. That's if you are an MPP member. What is going on? Does it really give you a hope? So, party no beat me after the primaries, no beat me about the car boom crowd or what me ako national. Do you have that belief? I'm only asking a question. May the Asembusa and Amibusa, but Peter will join us. Probably some of the answers will be coming from him. Former director for the TVET, technical education, Nana Adodankwa Kufuado, Abreso, Omode Baye. And what's the way forward for the party? We will talk about that here on hotdigitalonline.com. We did the principal. Continuity, Hot Digital Online. If we say break up and say, do me, no me, no, ebabo. Na yemfa, the old in so, emerald. But, and some be or what, Mpesa Uti, the MPP. After marking somehow the two jar, a bra, court the bandai, a pandai, rerun decision, no, a buyer. Now we understand the MP of the area. After 7 days, also at the execution of a dear core, chess or or pomodin, such sanctioner of a person a court, no, a chess a court, no, some handsome bill. But the course has said, there should be a rerun in 30 days. Send a handsome is at here. The electoral commission is so about one employee of the and a staff of the EC. And the President John Dramani Mahama and him say, Yerena, the electoral commissioner Jim Mensa and the deputies now. Yinyo Mufrio. Article 146 in Yaso. Ne yenyomo emfriho. He said yet, me ya kwa akoye se, ya kwa akoye wo ye manum se, sese no se, obia tene ba bia na se ono no wo ho na se ono afi se o masa, emra no kra ma me try bi nhwe na wakọ school wanya position, waye ba bia odu no ono atimi ka se o, ye hwe na yenyiu emfriho. Na cha se no ho nsem no enti kosineti meye na ye di ho nkomo na bibia so yahwe whether it's right but na ngotie minority in parliament and some of the tuja
master has the tendency of destroying our peaceful republic. will not mince words. They can conspire to call us one by one for a so-called contempt of court. We are criticizing their shameful conduct. We are not afraid. We are ready to be in Nsawam for their so-called contempt. The sad part of it is that the NDC candidates and his supporters were aware of the judgment before the day, to the extent that on the day of the said judgment, the regional minister led a team of NDC party faithfuls into the courtroom, anticipating the expected result.
So tip.
I want some ABNA, but we're getting to that now. Yeah, the home come and our hotdigitalonline.com just about 20 minutes to 12 o'clock. Now, yeah, in some bro. And every day didn't come up. May her send Kamema. Yeah, far and you're back on trail. Yeah. We will come back on the line after you didn't come up. Yeah, listen here. And some so is it here. And hot digital online. Hit back. And I was soon a good swap. Uti. And my ring is okay. Let me just deal with it first and I'll be coming back to you here on hotdigitalonline.com. Now, mental to Niamaka crying after you and trust in free. Senabedeka and Peter, former deputy director of TVET, will join me, member of the NPP. Ever join me, we didn't come up about a party, no, any, and someone, course, as far as the flag bearership, and so a year concern. Ain't it constantly a hot digital online? Yeah, better.
Hello, very good morning to you. You are welcome to The Big Issue. My name is Selon Adunu. What happens? Court documents for its legal team. The church maintained that portraying the school as a public institution engaged in discriminatory practices is inaccurate. Founded in 1936 by Harriet Wrigley, Wesley Girls says its mission has always been to develop the intellect, character, and skills of the girl child without discrimination. So this is the matter we have before us. My guest this morning, Isaac Boamanya, advantages will these missions get then? Why did they establish the schools? They established the schools for a reason. And so now making it free for all, in quotes, defeats that purpose, doesn't it?
Well, the point we need to note is that when you are in your little corner doing your own things, you enjoy certain freedoms. And even you have the freedom to think anyhow you want to. That one is not subject to any restrictions. So it is an absolute freedom. But the moment you begin to interact with the larger society, you subject the freedom you have to certain limitations so that others can also enjoy their rights in case there is a clash between two rights. So that is where the balancing act comes in. And that is where sometimes where there's a conflict, we need to bring in the courts to be able to strike that balance, which will be fair, and it will enable each one to enjoy his or her rights to the extent that it will not compromise the ability of another person to enjoy their rights. We know that the Methodist Church was set up. There are other religious bodies also set up. But when they were set up initially, the kind of freedoms, such as freedom of religion, that they enjoyed was almost absolute in that respect. But the moment that interaction comes in, where you open up your school to government involvement, and when you open up your school to admit other students from other faiths, you compromise the almost absolute freedom that you used to enjoy. And so that is what the Methodist Church needs to recognize, and to make sure that while it is not to say that their rights should be completely curtailed, and therefore there shouldn't be any room for the practice of Methodism and so on, it should also recognize that other citizens have the right to enjoy their freedoms. And that is clearly stated in Article 12.1, for example, of our Constitution. And Article 17 also talks about non-discrimination, that we should all be treated equally, irrespective of our background, religious background, political affiliation, and so on and so forth. So it is not to actually interfere in the, or to deny the Methodist Church the freedom to maybe even propagate the Methodist faith to their members or to the students. But religion is such a delicate issue that if we are not careful, it can create a whole lot of tension and unnecessary trouble within the society. But the bottom line is that religion cannot be imposed. If you want people to come to your institution, there are two reasons for allowing other faiths to come in. Either you want them to be exposed to the Methodist faith in this context, but also to enable them not to give them the education that will enable them to stand on their 2 feet, become students who at the school and will lay the foundation for them to, attain their full potential and to be able to acquire job opportunities and contribute to the development of the society. So while they come in, they are supposed to, the church will expect that they will respect the doctrines and beliefs of the church, and at the same time not practice what other faith they are bringing in. And so at the end of the day, that balancing act should make sure that there are certain practices on the campus that the non-Christian members should take part in, but also when